Buonya, and I'm going to be reading the condensed version of the Blood Blessing. Searing pain ripped through my abdomen, wave after wave, slashing in pulses lasting from 60 to 90 seconds and getting worse by the hour. Despite all of my preparatory classes, hundreds of expert articles, and breathing techniques taught in prenatal yoga, I was not fully prepared when the call to begin my motherhood journey came, knocking on my back, my hips, and my poor pelvic bone. It must be time. I made the dreaded call to my mother. "Did you have a baby already?" she asked excitedly. "No." And in the next few minutes, all my frustrations, anxieties, and fears flooded out, along with moaning gasp, a poor means to controlling self-inflicted agony. I tried to remember all the poetic affirmations I practiced during a time when my mind wasn't clouded and my body was at peace with itself. But those affirmations struggled to come through in my time of need. "Did I ever tell you the story of the sisters Hayu and Hayang?" my mother asked. "No, and I don't care," I responded. But my mother barely listens to my wishes, so of course, why would she listen to me now? Hayu and Hayang are two of the most powerful sisters from the time of the ancestors, when magic and spirits roamed our land freely. The story that I'm about to tell you has been forgotten by most of our people, but it is a true story. Why was my mother telling me another Montagnard myth and at the worst possible time? A contraction hits and I start counting the minutes as I hear my mother's voice continue in the background. "In the beginning, our people used to live in underground caves, away from the prying eyes of the outside world and safe from wild animals, until tribal leaders discovered the world outside our stone homes. The tribal leaders reported a beast with orange and black stripes who walked the earth like gods, birds with feathers the color of burnt sunset, and creatures of the sea with bodies that reflected the sunlight and didn't need air for breathing. This outside world would become our new home in the Central Highlands, but an unlucky fate fell upon Hayu and Hayang and they became trapped in our underground world. They were traveling behind the two-headed buffalo, which was thought to bring us extra wisdom, strength, and good harvest, but instead it just clogged the opening to Bang Adren with the two sisters stuck behind it. The sisters screamed for help, but only silence spoke back from the darkness like ghostly echoes. They waited and waited, but no help came. With their ears pressed against the cold, wet stone, they could hear friends, family, and tribesmen rejoicing at the beauty before their eyes, beauty that the sisters could not see. After some time, the sisters returned to the mouth of the cave, careful of kicking hind legs, aware of the beast that kept them trapped while everyone else was free. With their hunting knives, they had to do the unthinkable. Fighting against their own impulses to help an esteemed animal, screaming and kicking in pain, they continued to hack away at the animal's hoofs, knees, thighs, tail, hips, rump, back, and lastly, its throat. Finally, they were free of the darkness, but were exhausted, in tears, and covered in blood. "Why are you crying?" Hayang looked up, startled to see a man with skin of thick leather and two curved horns protruding from each side of his head. The sisters shook with fright, but refused to let fear win, their hunting knives ready for another bloodbath if necessary. "Don't be afraid. I am here to thank you. I am the great buffalo spirit, trapped by a spellcaster into a body with two heads that tormented me night and day with its opposing thoughts. You two freed me, and I would like to repay you with one wish each. Tell me, what do you wish for?" Hayu and Hayang looked at each other with anticipation. Hope hung in the air like a holiday. Hayu, being the elder sister, spoke for both of them and said they wished to return to their tribe, to be reunited with their families. "But that is only one wish," said the great buffalo spirit. "You don't want to waste the second wish." "Can we save the second wish?" asked Hayang. Yes, but it will cost you extra, replied the great buffalo spirit. When you are ready to ask for your second wish, go to the nearest water buffalo, call for me 7 times, and I will come. The great buffalo spirit granted their wish, and the sisters rejoiced at reuniting with their tribesmen. Years passed, and Hayang became pregnant. Like all expecting mothers, she heard the horror stories passed down and whispered among the women in the tribes. When her time came, the pain was so unbearable she screamed for God, but her screams fell on deaf ears. She then remembered the promise of the second wish. She called her sister Hayu to bring the family water buffalo to her, and she called out for the great buffalo spirit. After she gave up hope for any relief, she heard a voice. Am I here to grant your second wish? Yes, I wish for a pain-free labor and easy delivery, screamed Hayang. Remember, it will cost you extra, said the great buffalo spirit. You may have a relatively pain-free labor and easy delivery, but afterwards you and your sister must leave the physical world and come stay with me in the spirit world, where you will endure forever. You may still visit your family and friends whenever you wish, but you will appear as powerful spirits to them. After a few deep breaths, Hayang said she would only agree this blessing could be passed on to all Montagnard women. The great buffalo spirit considered what would technically be a third wish, but his wish for companionship overrode his desire to be technical. He made a counter-offer that he would grant Hayang's wish only if a buffalo sacrifice was offered to him every 7 years, so that he could have a physical body to roam the earth as he wanted, and that this blessing would only be revealed to expecting mothers when their motherhood journey was near. The sisters agreed, and afterwards, Hayang gave birth to her firstborn son. The 2 sisters joined the great buffalo spirit in the spirit world. Before the Vietnam War and before the conversion to Christianity, Montagnard women honored the wishes of the great buffalo spirit. Every 7 years for more than 20 decades, the ceremony of sacrifice and offerings to Bang Adren took place, which included 1 buffalo and 1 jar of rice wine. Some legends believe this ceremony was to petition the Hu and Hayang sisters for rain, but it was actually to keep the covenant with the great buffalo spirit that Montagnard mothers would continue to have fast and smooth deliveries. An elderly woman and mother would dip her right hand in buffalo blood. Some legends believe that the young women did not partake in this act because they feared death, but the truth was they feared becoming another companion to the great buffalo spirit and having to leave the physical world. The other legends have been retold through generations of men who were unaware of the true significance of the ceremony and offerings to Bang Adren. After the elderly mother's hand was drenched in blood, it was inserted into the mouth of the cave, which had shrunk considerably over time, and the great buffalo spirit and spirit sisters licked the blood as a continued covenant of their blood blessing. The buffalo that is sacrificed is not burnt like the other animals, which is usually done to remove the hide so that in this way the buffalo's physical body is still intact and the great buffalo spirit can continue to explore the physical world. Some say he still grants wishes to unsuspecting young women. Till this day, some say they still see the spirit of Hu and Hayang covered in blood and trapped in the underground cavern, but may the record reflect that the sisters are not cursed. They travel freely throughout the physical and spirit world and wear the cloak of blood as a reminder of their blessing and their sacrifice to all childbearing Montagnards. Thank you.